Keyshawn, Jay, Will, and Max. That's the news that blew up my rundown yesterday on a little TV show.
This
just in.
From 2 to 3. Sexy Max Kellerman. Right. Look at my face.
I don't. It's sexy. Just good looking. I mean, clearly handsome. Very handsome.
Way to pump him up, Key.
Yes.
Well, if I didn't do it, he was gonna do it.
Correct. He's right. He's right. Key understands. The good thing about Key is he understands what it is to have a big ego. He's way out in front of it.
Yeah, got me a lot.
What?
Got me
what?
a long ways in life.
That's right. Fake it till you make it. Well, Doc Rivers now, Philadelphia 76ers head coach, of course, joins us on the Goodyear Hotline. Pulitzer Prize-winning historian John Meacham launched a new podcast. It Was Said, sports narrated by legendary NBA coach Doc Rivers. And Doc, Coach, you now have a podcast. You know all about producers telling you that you have to do certain things. So before we can ask you anything, tell us about the podcast.
Well, it's awesome. You know, I don't do podcasts. I've never thought I would be in the podcast world. I think we've probably thought about a lot of those kind of things. But when John Meacham calls and asks you to do something with him, if you know anything about politics and great writing, the answer is yes. I thought it was such a strange pairing. I mean, John Meacham, a political writer, really just a great writer, and me, Doc Rivers, a coach, doing a podcast together, I thought was such a strange, unusual pairing that I thought it was perfect. I love politics, you know, and what we're doing it on is really all the great things that was done or said in sports. You know, one episode will be about Muhammad Ali. One is about 9/11 and Jack Buck's speech, Tim Tebow's speech, The Promise. You know, Hank Aaron is chased to break Babe Ruth's record and what entailed in that. So it's like a history lesson for me. It's been really good, lots of fun, enjoying it, learning how to read on as a tape. You know, it's so different than just reading by yourself. So it's been really a good thing for me to take my mind off my job, which is good.
Doc,
put his mind back on it, Jay.
Exactly. Well, first I want to tell you, Doc, I didn't get a chance to talk to you in the offseason. Congratulations on Callie getting married. That had to be really special. But I do have to ask you, man, because you know how this works in this industry. What is your thought on Ben Simmons, you know, telling Woj the other day in his camp that he doesn't plan to come to training camp and plans on not playing a game in the 76ers uniform?
Well, I hope we can change that thought, Jay. Like, that's part of our job. You know, the greatest thing in sports is, you know, it's fair. You fail at times, and then you get back on the horse and try. You would be amazed if I told you how many times through a summer when you don't win, which is 29 teams, how often you have to go through something similar to this. Because losing's hard, people internalize it, and you have to deal with it. And so we're going to deal with this.
Doc, I heard you build Ben up so much last year, but it seems like the one comment you made after you guys lost to the Hawks seems to be getting blown out of proportion. When the reporter asked you your thoughts on Ben Simmons, is he a championship-level PG? And you said, I don't know the answer to that. How do you feel about that?
No, that's not what I said, actually, Jay. This is one thing I'm glad you brought that up, because this is when narratives, and this is what makes our jobs hard. I actually said when the guy asked, guys, I'm not answering that stuff right now. I don't even know how to answer that. So what I was talking about was not answering the question.
Wow.
It had nothing to do with Ben. Yeah, but I said, it's funny, the next day, because my daughter, actually, Callie, called me and said, hey, you better clean that up. I know exactly what you were saying, but they're going on with a different narrative. So the next day, I did an impromptu press conference and said it again. I said, guys, for whoever's running this narrative, that's not what I was saying. Ben knows that. Rich Paul knows that. But it's amazing how it gets started, and it just takes a life of its own.
Doc, now I'm gonna let you be real clear and simple for those that want to change the narrative and create the storyline for you in what comes out of your mouth. I'm going to simply just ask you this. Can Ben Simmons play for you and win a championship?
Yeah, all day. All day. He just does so many things, man, that, it's funny. You guys heard me all year fighting for the kid. And he just does so many things that scoring, I don't know what it would be like in football. Probably anything a quarterback does, but scoring in our league, and it's just like, the Ben Wallaces of the world. It was great to see him go in the Hall of Fame, and Dennis Rodmans of the world help teams win titles and have Hall of Fame careers without being a great scorer. I do think Ben can score way more than he has scored. But that's not what makes him great. What makes him great is all the other things that he does. People forget in Game 7 as much heat as Ben got, and I'm killing the number, but Trae Young was 5 for 24.
He's a great
Somebody
defender.
did that.
Great defender.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so we forget all that. We forget how he gets guys open shots, how he puts pressure on defenses with his athletic speed. So, yeah, there's things he needs to work on and things we can work on, but we can absolutely win with him.
The great Coach Doc Rivers, or Glenn Rivers, better yet. I think that's what he wants to be referred to, right? Is that Coach, is that another narrative?
I'm Glenn in Philly, Key.
Okay. I'm just making sure, because I want to make sure that we get it right here. Coach Doc Rivers joining us this morning on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. How much conversation have you had with Ben since the season's been over with?
Not much, but we have had some. And I get his feelings. I understand where he's at right now. But we have some time, and we're going to keep trying to work on it to get him in the right place.
Doc, what are the reasons that Ben or his camp, Rich Paul and Company Clutch Sports, have given you or the franchise for them not wanting to be a part of the organization moving forward?
Well, that's more personal that I won't share. It's not probably what people think. I will say that. But I'd rather for them to share that than me.
Doc, I hear what you're saying about Ben Simmons. He does so many things at historically elite levels for a guy 6'10". The one thing he doesn't do is shoot, but he doesn't do that at all. And everything else he does like amazingly well. That said, when a guy comes out publicly and makes that's what's reported, he will not report. That seems to me to be a kind of an intentional damaging to his kind of trade value, right? Like he and the team are up against it, and he's saying, I'm going to damage my value to you if it continues this way. And here you are saying, I still think I can win a championship with this guy. What is this? Yeah. What does this latest report do to all that?
I don't know, Max. And number one, Max, is good to talk to you.
You too, always.
Are you happy with these guys, Max?
We're getting to know each other.
Wait,
Doc.
Coach, hold on, Coach. You just asked him if he was happy with us. How about asking us if we happy with him since he joined us?
You know what?
Doc
He's
knows
the
team.
newcomer.
Doc knows the team
You're
leader when he
absolutely right. He's the newcomer. My fault. Well, no, but serious. I don't know, Max, what the answer to that question is. Trade value is what someone gives you. And so we don't know that. And I try to stay away from that because I'm hoping we can work something out, and that doesn't happen. So I don't want to talk about it much. But many people have asked to be traded and didn't get traded. And people have come back. I mean, people forget that San Antonio Spurs traded Sean Elliott, right? And then he failed his physical and had to come back, and they won a title that year. So there's a lot of – and Key, I don't know this, but I'm almost positive you've asked to be traded before and then return back with the team.
Yes.
I don't know that.
Yes.
Wait, am I right or wrong?
No, I got traded when I asked to be traded, but yeah, they wanted me to stay, but I said no, I got to get out of here. I was more like Ben Simmons. I'm like, yeah, I got to go, but mine was based on money, not based on feelings and sensitivity things of that nature. Jay
Yeah.
Will has one quick question he wants to ask you before we let you get back to real work.
Doc, I love that you said
All
you
right.
could win a championship with him. Can you give me a little inside basketball? How do you do that, right? When people say he's better served when he's at the dunker spot, but that's the same kind of position that Joel Embiid encompasses, how do you make it work in Philadelphia?
Yeah, but if you watched last year, Ben wasn't in the dunker spot much. Ben had the ball. Like, we turned Ben into our point guard. You know, so the first thing, there's one thing we have to improve, obviously, is the free throw line. And that entails the work that we have to put in. We hired a shooting coach. So we have plans to do that. Because I think if he improves in just that one area, all the other stuff will follow. But because he can get to the basket, he'll be a better finisher because he won't try to avoid fouls, you know. I think that's the key to the start.
Great Doc Rivers, ladies and gentlemen. And when I was waiting for a championship as a Knicks fan, I thought those teams with Doc Rivers as point guard
still
gave us our
waiting.
best chance. Well, that's the truth.
You still
We
waiting.
did
I
have
know
a
about-
chance.
You
Matt.
did with you.
Nine
We-
of them in L.A.
Yeah, Patrick
But
Ewing
But
and
that knee injury hurt us.
Charles Oakley, Charles Smith. They had a squad. Doc Rivers was the point guard. Thank you, Doc. Great talking to you, as always.
Appreciate you, Doc.
Best of luck with the
Thanks,
upcoming
guys.
season.
All right, Coach.
Great talking to you guys.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, presented by Progressive Insurance. All guests join us on the Goodyear Hotline. We're going to react to everything that Doc Rivers had to say after Key has this from Vivid Seats.
Yes, Vivid Seats. They could sell you some seats if y'all ever make it to the championship as a Knick.
Ain't never going to happen.